Green Building Council set out a challenge in 2009. Could we halve carbon emissions from the built environment within a decade? Here in Liverpool, you've made some remarkable savings in terms of carbon emissions at the Daneville and the Florence Melly estate. Tell me a bit about that. How have you achieved that, and what sort of figures are you getting back?
We've achieved 74% carbon emission reduction on this particular scheme, John. And that equates to, initially, the emissions were about 8 tonne per property per annum, and that's been reduced to 2 tonne per property per annum. So I think you must agree that that's a massive saving.
And that's presumably had a big impact on energy bills as well, obviously.
The energy bills, we believe now, will have been reduced from £800 to around about £256 for each tenant per annum. And as we speak now, there's an organisation out on site, and they're looking to check the actual efficiency that we've achieved.
Tell me a bit about actually physically what you've done on these estates. Nigel, what's been going on? What have you put in?
Well, the approach that's been taken on these properties is of course a whole house approach. So we've looked to improve the entire envelope of the house. So insulating the ceiling or the roof of the property with 300mm of insulation, improving the insulation of the external wall by 5 times, replacing the windows, the front and back doors, as well as replacing the heating system with an A-rated gas-fired boiler. And as a result, that's created a warmer, more comfortable home for the tenants, as well as delivering some significant energy savings to the bills.
It's a 120mm thick insulation board that's bolted to the building. This is purely used on non-traditional type properties that have structural problems. So you then have a base coat, and then the top coat is normally a set F finish, which is rubbed and bagged up with what you've seen this morning, various colours. And then they do what's called a brick render effect, which, if you're using a red coloured brick, which is predominant in what we do, they basically apply the render, and then they mark and score out the perps and the bed joints to give it the brick effect look. All the works that have gone on there are to the LMH standard, and in fairness, it does exceed the Decent Home standard. The products they're using are really, really the best you can buy.
There's obviously extensive work that's been carried out on these properties, but in terms of the amount of material required to build a new property compared to the refurbished property, significant reductions in embodied carbon and embodied energy that would have had to gone into knocking down the estate where that material would have gone and importing new material to build the new property. So there have been significant reductions in the embodied energy and embodied carbon through going through a refurbishment process.
I mean, we've had a tough couple of years, obviously. Things don't look like they're going to ease up anytime particularly soon. I mean, what are your sort of hopes and fears for the future?
I think there is a fear that money's drying up. I think we've all got to work together, though, to look at ways to ensure that we can deliver the schemes of this nature, for twofold. One, for the carbon footprint, but two, for sustainability for the people who live on these particular estates. I think going forward, I think the green agenda is certainly, it's top of everybody's agenda. So I think there's an appetite to undertake this type of work. There's an appetite with the RSLs and local authorities, and I think it's down to organisations such as ours to drive that through with all the stakeholders involved.